Hi everyone, welcome to our channel. Today we're diving into something very important that many of us face: how to use your salary wisely and what to do with your paycheck. We all know that excited moment when payday arrives and you've got your paycheck in hand. But what's the first thing you should do? What's the next step after depositing that money in the bank? It's so easy to start spending without a plan, and before you know it, the money's gone. So in this video, we'll walk through the exact steps you need to take on payday, including budgeting, cutting expenses, managing savings, and planning for future financial goals so you can use your salary smartly. Let's get started and make sure you're in control of your money from the very first day. Let's start with strategy number 1. Create a detailed budget, organize your expenses, and allocate your money by categories. To successfully manage your finances, the first and most essential step is to have a clear understanding of where your money is going. Before anything else, you should thoroughly assess your expenses and determine how your salary will be allocated. Well, here is the truth. Many people avoid budgeting because it's time-consuming and uncomfortable to face how their money is really being used. It can be tough to see overspending and how money is wasted. But to get your finances on track, you will need to spend that time upfront to set up your budget and review it periodically. This is essential for effective financial management. Begin this by sitting down and listing all the categories in which you spend money. For each category, write down the exact amount you typically spend. These categories should include necessities such as rent, utilities, groceries, loan payments, and fun activities. A great way to track and organize this information is by using financial apps that can help monitor your spending habits in real time. These apps give you insight into your spending patterns, making it easier to identify how much you're allocating to each category. With a clear picture of your expenses, divided by categories, you can then evaluate whether your current spending aligns with your income. It's crucial to compare your expenses with your salary. If your total spending is too high, you'll need to adjust that either by increasing your income somehow or simply by cutting back on costs. We'll explore this point in greater detail in the next section, focusing on how to actually cut costs and reduce unnecessary spending. Now, when listing your categories, be thorough. Include all your regular expenses like we mentioned before: rent, utilities, car payments, groceries, dining, health insurance, loans, and leisure activities. Additionally, another category should be for unexpected or irregular expenses for the whole month. Life is full of surprises, so adding this category and setting aside money for unforeseen costs each month can prevent financial strain. You might not always know exactly what unexpected expenses will arise during the month, but having a general estimate based on previous months will help you stay prepared. So, essentially, this is the first step you should begin with: creating this detailed monthly budget with all these categories and any additional expenses, so you have a clear picture of what's happening with your money. Now after this, you got the second part of this strategy, to make sure that you'll actually stick to your budget throughout the month. It's critical that you do not exceed the amounts you've set for each category. If you overspend in one area, it can throw off your entire budget and lead to financial stress. To make things even more manageable, you can break down your monthly budget into weekly amounts. For instance, if the month has 4 or 5 weeks, divide each category's total amount accordingly. This way, you can manage your expenses in real time on a smaller and more focused scale. You'll know exactly how much you can afford to spend in each category on a weekly basis. If you reach your spending limit for a specific category before the week ends, refrain from spending more in that category until the next week begins. A more disciplined approach is to use envelopes for each spending category, like groceries, dining out, entertainment, and other spendings. This technique is great for variable expenses that can easily spiral out of control, such as eating out or entertainment. Withdraw cash and divide it into these envelopes. When the cash runs out, you've hit your limit for that category and need to wait until the next month to spend more. This method helps prevent overspending in areas where it's easy to get carried away. However, the most efficient and modern way to stick to your budget is by using the apps we mentioned earlier to track your expenses in real time. They will give you constant visibility into your spending, showing you how much you've already spent and how much is left for the month in each category. We will include links to these budgeting apps in the description below, so you can check them out. Always ensure you adhere to your budget and track your expenses. to prevent overspending and stay within the limits you've set. For example, if you know you've already spent your restaurant budget by the 25th of the month, you'll simply avoid dining out until the next month begins. The key principle here is to never exceed the spending limits you've set for yourself. Once you've reached the cap on a category, stop spending no matter what. And finally, if you find that you've underspent in a category, say you allocated $1,000 for groceries but only spent $800, consider adding the remaining $200 to your savings rather than rolling it over to the next month or spending it on something unnecessary. This way, you maximize your savings and ensure that extra money doesn't go to waste on non-essential expenses. So, this concludes our first strategy, effectively budgeting and managing your money. By categorizing your expenses, sticking to your budget, and making smart adjustments as needed, you'll gain greater financial control and move towards long-term financial stability. This strategy is highly effective. Follow these steps and you'll ensure that your money is used wisely and not wasted. Now we'll move on to strategy number 2, trim your expenses, lower costs, and reduce spending effectively. After you've listed and organized your expenses, the next crucial step is to evaluate whether your spending aligns with your income. Sometimes you'll find that your expenses are simply too high. It's possible that your expenses are exceeding your salary, or perhaps they are so close to it that you have very little left over. This is a signal that it's time to cut back. Even if your salary covers all your expenses, you don't want to be in a position where nearly 90 or 100% of your income is going toward them. Ideally, you should be able to save a significant portion of your earnings for future goals, emergencies, or investments. This means you'll need to lower some of your expenses, allowing you to set aside more for savings and reduce financial pressure. At this point, whether you realize it right away or after a few months of budgeting, it's important to reassess the expenses you initially listed. Ask yourself, what can I cut back on? What expenses are unnecessary? By trimming your spending, you'll find yourself in a much better financial position, with more flexibility and savings potential. One of the first areas to examine is subscriptions. Over time, we often accumulate subscriptions to services like streaming platforms, apps, or memberships that we don't actively use or need. Canceling these unused subscriptions is an easy way to reduce your expenses and put that money towards something more important. Next, focus on your grocery shopping. Food expenses can quickly get out of hand if you're not paying attention to how much you spend. Try to be more intentional when shopping. Look for sales, plan your meals in advance, and stick to a grocery list. Avoid unnecessary splurges and impulse buys, and you'll likely see your grocery bill shrink without sacrificing much. You should also take a look at how much you're spending on restaurants and ordering food. If it's too much, start cutting back by cooking at home more often. Buy fresh ingredients like vegetables to make salads, or bread, cheese, and ham to make a nice sandwich. Learn to cook simple meals. You can even watch YouTube videos for easy cooking tips. Also, start making your coffee at home instead of constantly visiting coffee shops. This way, you'll be able to really reduce your eating out expenses. Another major area to consider is your living situation, since rent is probably one of the biggest expenses in your life. So, if you're living in a place that's too expensive for your income level, you might want to reconsider whether it's worth it. And the same is if you own an expensive car. You should think about trading it in for something more affordable, or even consider whether you need a car at all. In addition, here are a few other areas to review where you might be able to cut expenses. Utility bills. Check if you're overpaying for utilities. Simple changes like adjusting your thermostat or switching to energy-efficient bulbs can help lower these costs. Phone plan. Review your mobile phone plan to see if you can switch to a more affordable option with fewer features you don't need. Internet service. Review your internet plan to ensure you're not overpaying. You might be able to downgrade to a more affordable plan that still meets your needs. You can compare plans from different providers to find the best value. Insurance premiums. Reevaluate your insurance policies, such as car, home, or health insurance, to ensure you're not paying more than necessary. Checking around for better rates can really save you money. Cutting down on all these expenses doesn't mean you have to drastically change your lifestyle overnight. It's about making small adjustments where you can. Over time, these changes add up and make a real difference in how much of your salary is available for saving or other goals. By lowering the costs in each category of your budget, you'll not only cover all your necessary expenses, but also have the breathing room to save for the future. This proactive approach will help ensure that your salary comfortably covers all your needs while also allowing you to save and invest for a better future. Now let's get into strategy number 3. But before that, just a quick reminder to subscribe to our channel. We've got plenty of great videos full of amazing practical tips on all sorts of topics coming your way. Make sure to join our community and to stay updated with us. So, strategy number 3 is especially practical and important. Prioritize your payments. Cover essentials first to avoid extra costs. When you get your salary, it's crucial to handle your expenses in the right order. Start by paying your essential bills and obligations first. This includes things like rent, utilities, and credit card bills. Prioritizing these payments ensures you cover the most important items before spending on non-essentials like dining out, entertainment, or travel. Paying your essential bills promptly also helps you avoid interest charges and late fees. For example, if you delay paying your credit card bill, you could end up accruing interest, which adds up over time. The same goes for other bills. Late payments can lead to additional charges, making your expenses even higher. To manage this effectively, create a list of all your expenses, ranking them by importance. Start with the must-pay items at the top, such as your rent and utility bills, and then move on to less critical expenses. By doing this, you make sure you take care of your financial responsibilities first, which keeps your budget on track and helps you avoid unnecessary costs. This approach not only helps you get a clearer view of how much money you have available for discretionary spending, but it also ensures you're not caught off guard by unpaid bills. By prioritizing your essential expenses first, you can enjoy your favorite activities with the peace of mind that your bills are covered and you're staying within your budget without worrying about unexpected financial surprises. Now let's dive into strategy number 4. Set aside a percentage of your salary each month and watch your savings grow. Saving a portion of your salary is essential for securing your financial future and achieving long-term goals. Financial experts often recommend setting aside a significant percentage of your income for savings or investments. If this seems daunting, start with a smaller percentage and gradually increase it as your salary grows. The important thing is just to be consistent. And of course, making incremental adjustments over time can lead to substantial savings. When you receive a raise, it's an excellent opportunity to boost your savings rate. As your salary increases, consider raising the percentage you save each month. This way, you benefit from your increased earnings while enhancing your savings rate. For example, if you were saving 10% of your income and you get a raise, increase your savings to 12% or 15%. This approach helps you save more without impacting your current lifestyle significantly. Now, to make saving a seamless part of your routine, it's a great idea to automate the process. Set up an automatic transfer from your checking account to your savings account each month. This way, you'll effortlessly grow your savings without having to remember each time. Your savings will build up on their own. Alternatively, you can ask your employer to split your paycheck, directing a portion straight into your savings account. This automation ensures that saving is a priority and removes the temptation to spend the money. Additionally, you should also challenge yourself to increase your savings rate periodically. Every few months, review your budget and consider increasing the percentage you save. This incremental approach helps you adapt to saving more without feeling overwhelmed. Small, regular increases can accumulate over time and lead to significant growth in your savings. Saving isn't just about putting money aside, it's about preparing for various needs and goals. Now, when looking into your saving strategy, you should start by building an emergency fund. This fund should cover unexpected expenses, such as car repairs or medical bills, ensuring that you're prepared for life's surprises without disrupting your daily finances. Aim to save enough to cover 3 to 6 months' worth of expenses. And moreover, allocate funds for significant future expenses such as buying a home, a car, or planning a major trip. These goals require careful planning and consistent saving. Regularly setting aside money for these purposes will help you reach them without financial strain. Lastly, consider where you should actually keep your savings. Opt for high-interest savings accounts to earn more on your deposits. In the description below, we'll list a few banks offering some of the highest savings rates currently available. Be sure to check them out to see which one might be the best fit for you. And of course, for potentially higher returns, you can explore investment options like stocks or mutual funds. These investments can grow your money faster than a traditional savings account and help you stay ahead of inflation. In summary, prioritizing savings from your salary helps you build a solid financial foundation. By setting aside a percentage of your income, automating the process, and choosing effective savings vehicles, you ensure you're prepared for emergencies, achieve future goals, and grow your wealth over time. Finally, let's discover strategy number 5. Use credit cards wisely. Spend smart, avoid debt, and maximize benefits. Credit cards can be incredibly useful tools for managing finances and tracking expenses. They offer a convenient way to make purchases, help keep a record of where your money goes, and often provide additional benefits like cashback or reward points. For example, many credit cards provide 2 to 3% cashback on your purchases, with some even offering higher percentages on specific categories. When used wisely, these rewards can accumulate into substantial savings or valuable perks over time. However, while credit cards provide many benefits, they also come with potential pitfalls. One major issue is that credit cards can make spending feel less real compared to using cash. When you swipe a credit card, it often doesn't feel as impactful as handing over physical cash, leading to more frequent and larger purchases. This psychological effect can result in overspending because the immediate expense isn't as noticeable. Another concern is the potential for accumulating high interest charges if you don't pay off your balance in full each month. Credit cards often have high interest rates, and carrying a balance can quickly lead to significant debt. So, to make sure you use your credit card wisely, here are a few important tips you should make sure to follow. 1. Set spending limits. Set a limit on how much you can charge each month and monitor your spending regularly to stay within that limit. 2. Use alerts. Set up spending alerts through your credit card issuer to get notifications when you approach or exceed your spending limits. 3. Avoid unnecessary purchases. Only use your credit card for essential expenses or planned purchases. 4. Pay on time. It's crucial to ensure you pay off your credit card in full by the due date to avoid late fees and high interest charges. If you consistently carry a balance, interest will accumulate and your debt can quickly grow. To prevent this, consider setting up automatic payments. This way, you won't have to worry about missing a payment and can avoid unnecessary stress. 5. Set up the right due date. Ensure your credit card due date aligns with your payday. For instance, if you get paid on the 7th but your bill is due on the 1st, you might struggle to pay on time. To fix this, either call your credit card issuer or adjust the date online so it matches your payday. By following these strategies, you can make the most of your credit card while minimizing potential downsides and avoid overspending and unnecessary debt. And yes, if you find it challenging to manage credit card spending, maybe it's better to consider using a debit card or just cash for a more tangible sense of your spending. The goal is to stay on top of your budget and actively manage all your expenses to maintain control over your financial situation. All right, so those are our top pieces of advice for using your salary wisely and staying on top of your finances. By taking these steps, you can make sure your money goes to the right places, helping you save more and avoid spending on things you don't really need. We want to thank you for sticking around with us today, and we hope these tips give you a clear path for managing your paycheck better and making the most of it every month. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, be sure to do so to keep up with us on more great tips on various topics. We hope to see you again next time. Have a fantastic day.